Hi, you're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 114. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
And I'm Jeff Arnott, the man who slept the world away.
Comic Reflections is brought to you by Rhymes with Geek. You can check out our show, plus plenty of other cool podcasts like Super Podcasto Magnifico, the all-new Anti-Fanboy, and Feed It Comics at rhymeswithgeek.com. And if you like our show, please subscribe to us on either iTunes or Stitcher.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's Superman time.
Yeah, not a great one here.
Okay, well, let me just go. It's the first book we're going to talk about is Superman number 290, and the lead story is called The Man Who Cried Super Wolf. Written by Jim Shooter, who wrote some of the best Legion of Superheroes stories, and that's how he started his career as a teenage kid. And then later he went on to be the editor-in-chief at Marvel Comics for like a decade.
Wow.
Yeah. So, anyway, and penciled by Kurt Swan and inked by Tex Blaisdell, who, had a long career going back to the Golden Age. And my friend, who went to the Kubert School, the comic art school, I ran into him at Comic-Con like a few weeks ago, and he was telling me stories from the Kubert School, like, yeah, Tex Blaisdell was one of his instructors there.
Wow.
As was Irwin Hasen, the co-creator of the Golden Age Green Lantern. And he had the long-running syndicated strip Dondi.
Oh, ooh, yeah. Okay.
And he did the Wildcat and the Flash, some in the Golden Age. And
Dondi was probably one of the worst movies ever made.
I know it was a movie, but I haven't seen it. But
yeah, neither have I. And I never saw. I think I've seen one panel of Dondi.
Yeah, I haven't really read Dondi, but Irwin Hasen is a figure that I was very interested in. I was very excited.
Oh, that's cool.
My friend not only interacted with these people, but they were his instructors at art school. So, I thought, the fact that he was taught by Joe Kubert was impressive enough.
Right. But
the fact that he knew Tex Blaisdell and Irwin Hasen, I was just like blown away. So anyway, let's on with the story.
All right. So Superman is doing an experiment, and this hippie dude says, well, Superman's into modern art. And this guy who looks like similar to Archie Bunker calls him a meathead, and the guy says, and the Archie Bunker says dingbat. So it's got to be some, that's what Archie Bunker used. So we have a pop cultural reference in a comic book.
Well, they happen.
Yeah. So we know what time. It's in this glorious 70s.
Which I know you mean sarcastically.
Right.
You hate the 70s.
Indeed. I loved them. So here's a street sweeper, which someone that's gone. I don't know when they did it, but I've never seen a street sweeper.
Yeah, and this guy also has a hearing aid too.
Yeah, and he hears a plot to kill Superman, and
like it comes in kind of on his hearing aid. Hey, you have hearing aids.
That's right, and I never heard a plot to kill Superman.
That's good.
I'm gonna send them back. Get better ones. So Superman overhears them talking because he's talking to his buddies. Hey, there's a plot to kill Superman. And Superman comes over and they complain about the mess. So Superman helps them clean up the mess. And then the guy tries to tell him, hey, there's a attempt on your life. And the other guy says, hey, don't listen to him, Superman. He's a prankster because he pretended to be Superman one time to get him to go... to get him to cross the street in his trash can. It's kind of a lame-o practical joke, I thought.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, there are these anti-gravitational fields where buses are going up, the school bus too.
Into the air.
Into the air.
Yeah. And then Superman builds this lame fort out of sticks in the middle of the road to kind of like block off the air. Here's the area where the anti-gravity stuff's going on.
I don't know. I mean, I think it would work.
Yeah.
All right. So here's a problem with our friend who...
the street sweeper?
Yeah, he's trying to get a hold of Superman. That's a good question. How would you? So he tries to talk to Jimmy Olsen, and Jimmy Olsen's walking by, doesn't catch him, so he goes up, talks to the secretary. Mr. Olsen is really busy, and he's got lots of people who want to talk to him. So,
it's so funny that Jimmy, it's the Cub reporter Jimmy Olsen. Now he's Mr. Olsen, and he's an important guy at GBS.
Right.
I don't like the 70s Mr. Action Jimmy. It sucks.
Boring. Yeah.
Because the problem is they're trying to make Jimmy cool. And the whole point of Jimmy is he's so square and but all these weird things happen to him.
Which is the entire good thing about it. You know? Oh, gosh.
Is that he's supposed to be so ordinary.
Right.
And even lame. And
yeah,
then
it's like
cool stuff happens.
into the Fresh Prince. It won't work. Although he's not that. Oh, yeah, I guess he is kind of that nerdy. So.
I think at times. Yeah.
All right. Mr. Coram and Tommy Woodrow, who's been in Action 440, but they're planning to kill Superman. They're watching it on TV. So,
okay.
And that's who the street sweeper overheard.
Okay.
So all of a sudden, Clark is always late to his WGBS, and we've discussed how lame his job is.
Well, you know what it is? Why doesn't he just not do the job at all and have one of his Superman robots just be Clark?
Good damn question.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 duh.
Yeah, and then he could just show up and collect his paycheck if he wanted it, but or keep up his relationships with Jimmy and Lois and stuff because they're his friends, obviously. But yeah, why not just have the robot do the job? Then you don't have to always duck out of the stupid thing.
Yeah, I mean a robot can read the news.
Yeah,
it's only in America that newscasters are celebrities. In other countries, they're the guys who read the news. And then it's just big deal.
Yeah, and but the thing is, I think all the other times that Superman had a Superman robot, take his place as Clark or whatever. Right. It's just dude, you're Superman. You built these robots. They don't malfunction that often, and you can monitor them. It would be the smartest, best use of your time and energy.
Right.
You could do more Superman stuff, or he could be chillaxing back at the Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah, or saving the world or something. Besides giving you some lame old newscast.
And why, and then why do you have to keep up the undignified, being doofy Clark,
Mm-hmm.
So anyway.
Yeah. So the street sweeper goes into the studio, which would be very hard to do, and then tells them, shouts out to the camera to watch out, Superman. Someone's going to kill him. So.
But they'd already turned the cameras off, and the newscast was over.
Yeah, but luckily Superman was in the room.
That's right. But unbeknownst to the street sweeper.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. So it gets an idea. I'll hire a skywriter. But the anti-grav fields there's no flying in the flight.
Yeah, they've grounded all flights because of the anti-grav fields. Yeah.
Which is kind of a cool idea that all this stuff has economic consequences. And I wouldn't want to have a business in Metropolis.
Well, in a world where there's superheroics and supervillainy going on, think of insurance. Right. Think of, trying to conduct business. So what happens if, a superhero has a big battle and destroys, your place of work? Or supervillains are doing stuff and all the flights are grounded and it screws up your business. That's a very good point.
Yeah, and I think I talked about it. There was a show about people, an organization that cleaned up after superheroes, and it lasted about 5 or 6 issues, but it was kind of cool.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Marvel put that out, and I'm blanking on what they're called, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a limited series, but yeah.
So all right, so how do you get a hold of Superman? Here's the problem. So the street sweeper, gets us in a Superman outfit and gets into the anti-gravity beam, and Superman sees him. Here comes Steve Lombard. He wants a smoke. Is it Steve?
No, that's Mr. Edge.
Yeah, Mr.
Steve
Edge
doesn't smoke. That's Morgan Edge.
And it burns Clark's finger.
Well,
and why does that happen? Because the bad guys got this beam that's using the sun or something and is making them weak.
It'll disrupt Superman's powers enough, or at least his invulnerability, so that they can kill him.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of this going on. What are ways to cancel out Superman's powers or make them ineffective or something? It's a big try in the 70s to make Superman have weaknesses or be fallible.
Yeah. I don't know.
So,
So Superman. Okay, supposedly this attack's going to happen at noon, and the bad guys are going to zap him. So Superman shows up and gets zapped in the head, and he falls over. But he gets up and he finds the bad guys, because the only people who everybody was looking at him, this huge crowd, and only 2 people were laughing.
yeah.
So, all right, so Superman, and this is kind of cool. He takes him up and he says, "You're going to tell me how where the power, the anti-grav power unit is,
Yeah.
or I want to drop you." And this guy says, "The fall would kill us." And everyone knows Superman doesn't kill anybody.
It was like,
So he puts him in the anti-grav zone, and it goes up into the air, and it's gonna be very uncomfortable.
yeah.
So
And he's saying, like, look, it's not me killing you, it'll be the fall.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which Superman wouldn't even do that.
Right.
But, you know.
The crooks don't need to know.
Right.
So,
That's a good point, yeah.
So, the Street Suit had this mask, and then Superman put lead in it, so the beam wouldn't hurt him. So, yay, he won. And so they're going to get his old job, because he was fired from the Street Sweeper job.
Good for pranking. Yeah.
Or for telling the truth this time.
Right. Yeah.
So, I was a man who cried Super Bowl.
Yeah. So, hey, we have a backup story that I know you probably had a lot of fun with.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, this is called Babble, Toil and Trouble, written by Elliot S. Magan, penciled by Kurt Swan, and inked by Tex Blaisdell. And it's a Mixia's Pitalik story.
Yay.
Yay for Jeff.
Okay.
No, I like it too. This is really fun.
All right. Mix is sitting in on a Sunday school class talking about the Tower of Babel.
Which, what? Yeah.
Well, he can go anywhere he wants to.
Sure, it seems a little unlikely.
Well, I don't know.
Mixia's Pitalik at the Big Tent Revival. That's like, really?
No, it's a Sunday school.
I know, but can you see what I'm going with that?
Yeah, but he plays checking out everything. It's a good thing she wasn't doing Revelations, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, anyway.
So, I love Mix. So, he says, that gives me a good idea. It's with everyone having different languages and all. So, all of a sudden, everyone had different languages. Superman can read every language on Earth.
Yeah, he's really good like that. So he knows there's something up, and he understands everyone, but he knows that they're all speaking and seeing different languages.
That would be the end of civilization if everyone was like,
randomly,
Yeah. What could you do?
All right, Superman's got to get you to talk backwards.
Or
get Mixia's Pitalik too.
Mm-hmm. So here, Mix is here. Oh, and Mix is constantly changing to different people. And everybody's in different nationalities.
Yeah, and he starts speaking French and stuff, and he's wearing a beret, and then he's speaking Arabic, and he's wearing a turban.
And everybody else is changing clothes too.
Yeah.
That's kind of okay. So
then we get some very funny panels here coming up quick.
Yeah, we got somebody is holding up somebody else, and I don't know what the he's a Dutch guy, and he's holding up because he's wearing wooden shoes.
Oh,
and a guy who's dressed up like a Chinese person.
So it's really funny because Superman starts speaking Spanish, and then he wears a sombrero and a mustache.
No, and that's great.
And Mixia's Pitalik's wearing a Viking helmet. This is so silly and so great.
and people are calling him Mixia's Pitalik different names. Mr. Fendick, Herr Shadling, Monsieur Guinot.
Yeah.
And his is taking Mix. Mix has all these powers, but he's kind of stupid.
Yeah. And so.
Oh, and now he's Greek or Latin or Roman.
Yeah. Anyway, but Superman gets him to read his name backwards, and sends him back to the fifth dimension. And he had been tricking him because he used super ventriloquism to get people to say.
And he forgot his name. So what is my name again? So here's your card, and it's Clicks. Okay, I can never pronounce the backward name.
Well, it's hard enough to catch. Yeah, clip whatever. Clip whatever. I can't do it.
Yeah,
it's hard enough to say it forwards.
Right. Well.
So.
Okay, so let's let poor old Mick say it. But then.
Poor old Mix. He almost destroyed human civilization.
I know.
Remember? Okay.
But he's so likable. What a scamp. Well, the thing is, how would that work in English? Because his card is in English. Does it matter what language it is?
I don't know. I think it's the whole deal was. Excuse me. Was getting Mixius Pitalik all confusicated and distracted, and just got him to do it. So,
yeah. All right, but
back to the fifth dimension for at least 60 days.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it though.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So
that's all that's important.
All right. Yes. So the next issue we've got to talk about, and I'm sure you're gonna love this, is Superman number 294, and the lead story is called "The Man Who Slept the World Away," written by Cary Bates. Penciled by Kurt Swan, inked by Tex Blaisdell. And this is great. This is the return of Brainstorm, who I know is one of your favorite villains.
Man, he's got the coolest hat in the world.
Yeah, he is great. Remember when we read where he fought the Justice League? It was like his introductory story.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was when we did that big block on the League.
Yeah.
It's like a year ago, so.
Mm-hmm. Good times, good times. Okay, so Clark is giving a
telecast,
and he's talking about there's nobody on Earth.
And why would you bother doing a telecast if there was nobody on Earth?
Mm-hmm.
It serves a dramatic thing. So.
Well, actually, it's kind of he wants people to know, but he also wants the people to know that he's not Superman, even in case there's somebody on Earth,
right?
Which is kind of cool. And so Superman and Clark Kent was out in the moon, and they came back, and there's nobody here, and all these planes are flying around, no pilots, so he saves them, which seems to be a waste of time.
Well, if they're going to crash and destroy things.
Yeah. They say he got scores of planes, but aren't they tens or maybe hundreds of thousands of planes in the air at any point, at any one time?
I don't know, thousands at any given point?
In the world?
Yeah, I mean, but also he is Superman.
Yeah, but scores is not the word. At least be thousands. Okay.
I can't imagine there's more at like right now that there's more. Well, then there's more than 1,000 airplanes flying in the air right now.
Okay, we're talking about all the air forces. We're talking about all the private planes.
I don't mean like in the everything. It's not like every plane in existence is flying all the time.
No, but the whole world has 4 billion people, and then there's lots and lots of planes. There's probably 1,000 airliners going on right now.
Okay, so what's wrong?
Okay, and I'm glad you admit it.
Fine. I know what this is all about, so I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I just thought that was kind of... But, so that's his last broadcast. And so Superman is all ticked off about it.
Well, he's got to get to the bottom of this mystery. Where did everyone in the world go?
And Clark's phone rings. So so he figures out that the phone call is coming from France. So Superman rushes off to France, and it's just a ploy. There's just a machine making a phone call.
Right. You think Superman would be able to tell it was taped? I mean, I could tell it was taped if I got a phone call that was like that. You know what I mean? And I'm not Superman.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, surprisingly. But anyway, it's Brainwave on the other, or Brainstorm on the other way, not Brainwave, Brainstorm.
Yeah. And it's a ploy to get Superman out of the way so he can kill Clark Kent, because Clark Kent. So there's only 3 people on Earth: Superman, Clark Kent, and
Brainstorm.
And so he takes an atomic bazooka. Did you know there were atomic bazookas?
You know, I wasn't going to say anything, but no.
Yes.
Where they really are?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not a pretend comic book thing?
It's not as small as this. You put it on the back of your Jeep, but yeah, pull this round that.
Okay.
Davy Crockett, I think. So.
Oh.
And only went about a mile or so, and then there's a small bomb.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So the guy blows up Brainstorm blows up his office, and he knows that he's dead because he found his part of his glasses.
Right.
And Superman says, "Oh, thank goodness that I had that spare in my desk."
Man. So anyway, then the fight with Brainstorm and Superman ensues. Brainstorm used his powers to like send everyone on Earth into another dimension or something.
Yeah, which is just kind of odd and convoluted.
And I don't even remember why.
All right, so in order, there's this quasar coming, and this one hit, and he can get more power.
Oh.
If the quasar hits, but there can be no human beings on Earth, which makes no sense whatsoever.
Oh, because the quasar power would like go into people, and if he's the only people, then there you go.
Yeah.
I don't understand how. Oh, because Superman wasn't on Earth when
Right,
he did
exactly.
it. Oh, okay.
So here,
Wait, what about the JLA and the JLA satellite?
I guess they're gone too.
Huh. Okay.
I don't know. A lot of times, comic books, when there are no other superheroes, you know.
Oh, right.
You know, that's just the way it is. It just seems like they never mention it or something.
Yeah. Well, it seems to happen a lot with Superman, especially.
Yeah, so Brainstorm is monologuing all this stuff, and Superman sits down in the bleachers and listens. It's great. Pray continue.
Yeah. Forsooth.
Yeah.
Verily.
Yeah. Ooh, Super Friends.
Oh yeah, here we got another house ad for those big Treasury editions, and it's funny. The Super Friends one has a framing sequence, I think, with the more cartoony Super Friends, but it's actually 2 or 3 reprinted Silver Age Justice League stories in that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In fact, maybe the one with Brainstorm, and then there's a Dick Tracy one too. The only time DC put out anything with Dick Tracy, they licensed it briefly. They did the Treasury. It wasn't a hit, and they never did any more with him.
Not too bad, because the early Dick Tracy's pretty cool.
Well, and even if DC had decided, hey, we're going to do a series, and it's not going to be Chester Gould, we're going to have pro DC comic guys work on it, that would be an interesting, something different with that character.
Yeah. I don't know, part of the thing about Dick Tracy is so oddly drawn. It's kind of the pull of it. It's just
Is it? Because I think Chester Gould is one of the worst artists in the world.
That's what is so cool about it.
Oh, okay.
It's sort of, the people are super ugly, and it's sort of just kind of neat. And I don't know, but the objects are drawn exactly correctly. It's just a Smith & Wesson 38 Special, Snubnose, is exact. And it's
okay.
But the people are just hideous, and
right.
It's just a weird juxtaposition, and and then they go out into outer space. It's just
There's an outer space Dick Tracy?
Good God, yeah, man, it's famous Moon Girls and all kinds.
I don't remember that one, but it ran for so long.
Yeah,
it ran for 40 years?
Maybe 50. It might be going. It's going on right now. In fact,
Dick Tracy?
Yeah.
Not alright. Okay.
I occasionally look at Comics Curmudgeon on the internet, and they show little clips of the worst of the week, I guess.
Oh, okay.
And they show some Dick Tracy and Spider-Man too. So,
yeah, I know that. I think those New York papers get a lot of these strips that we just don't get out here on the West Coast.
Yeah, I'm from the small town of Raleigh, and then I got the Dallas paper.
Yeah.
Dallas Morning News, and it's about 4 pages of comics. Oh my gosh!
Wow.
It's like neato kino, although most of them suck.
Yeah.
So,
because there's no adventure strips anymore.
If there are, they're not that good.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So what does Superman do? And so Superman turns into Clark Kent, and that freaks out Brainstorm. So Brainstorm tries to kill Clark, and he doesn't. He tries again and again, and then he misses the quasar, and Superman blows up. Well, he does something to his helmet, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
So I like Brainstorm, but this is just too kooky and weird. Although they could have fleshed it out and made
Sure.
it too. Sometimes like the original Dune novel is half as long as I would like it to have been, and the rest of the Dune novels are twice as long as they should have been.
Okay.
And this is they could have added something like. Here is this world where there's nobody in it. It's kind of cool. Although that might be more cinematic than in the comic book.
Yeah. Well, comics are pretty cinematic, but I guess sometimes it wouldn't work. Hey, cool house ad for I think it's 3 new series they were rolling out at the time. Blitzkrieg, which I have the first issue of, and I think we'll look at that. It's a war book.
Oh, cool.
And the Warlord, which was a huge hit and ran for over 100 issues.
Mm-hmm.
And Hercules, which is part of the Great Disaster. I think we might look at that too.
The Great Disaster.
Yeah, it's Hercules. What is it? Unchained, or what is that word? I can't
Unbound.
read. Unbound. The Great Disaster is the period where the OMAC and then Commandy are part of it, and it's sort of connected.
Okay.
Hercules takes place during sometime during that.
I thought you meant like DC in the 70s. Great Disaster.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's funny you mentioned that, because in the late 70s, the famous DC implosion, where just tons of books got canceled and they weren't really rolling out new series. Well, The Warlord was a book that started, and Jeanette Kahn came on as the new publisher, and they had just canceled The Warlord. It had come out and done a couple issues and had canceled it, and she put it back on the schedule because it was her favorite book that they were doing. And so, because she gave it an extra chance at life, it ended up becoming a big hit for DC.
Yeah, because probably they almost canceled it, so maybe I'll check it out before they cancel again and say, hey, this is pretty good.
Yeah. So, but no, I like that. Jeanette Kahn saved DC Comics in the late 70s, and then the 80s was a great decade for the company. And Warlord was one of the top-selling books next to Teen Titans and the Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, Brainstorm, going back to Brainstorm, he's super clever and all this, but he doesn't figure out that Clark and Superman look very similar. And
that seems to be a problem a lot of people have.
Yeah. So Superman says, "Oh, I'll just give you these 4 billion people whose lives you have really messed up." So, "Oh, they'll kill me. No, please, Superman, save me." So he tells Brainstorm that he dressed up like Clark, and that's why. And Brainstorm buys it.
Right, so, and Brainstorm is facing 4 billion counts of
kidnapping.
He says,
well, at least I didn't do murder. Yeah, but you got 4 billion counts of kidnapping, and his face is the expression on his face is so priceless.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
What do we have next?
Oh, another terrible Private Life of Clark Kent story. This one's called The Tattoo Switcheroo.
Yeah, although there's one interesting thing about it. And,
okay.
All right.
Let me. It's written by Martin Pasco and penciled by Jose Luis Garcia-Lopez, inked by Vince Coletta. So.
Julius Schwartz is the editorial guru.
Yeah,
that's amusing.
Yeah, I love Julius Schwartz. I mean, he is like one of the great figures at DC Comics.
Okay, so Clark Kent is on the air, and he's saying, "Hey, I'm going to solve the Sloan Sapphire theft." So the guy who actually did do the Sloan Sapphire theft decides, "Hey, I'm going to take out Clark Kent." So obviously, this was just a Superman's ploy to get this guy out of the woodwork.
Yeah, out in the open.
Ironically, even though he's wearing this suit from the 30s, rather. Although there was a 30s or 20s comeback of this stuff in the 70s, which makes it's another reason the 70s sucks so bad.
Wow.
So, he looks exactly like Clark Kent.
Yeah.
So he said, "Take off your clothes, Clark, and we'll switch." So
Clark's like, "Wait a sec, you're going to see my Superman suit under there. I'm trapped." So what does he do? At super speed, he takes off
his uniform
and rolls it into a ball and swallows it.
While blowing, he swallows his uniform. He blows wind at what's his name?
The gangster. Who cares?
Yeah, right. Oh, and then he switches out and he's good to go, which is kind of
Wait, what was that wind? Right?
right.
So anyway,
So they tie up Clark, and then Clark gets into the gangster's outfit, and he comes out, and this stupid gangster helper guy, and he's dumb. So, hey, I'm the boss. You listen to me. And then the bad guy comes in, and dresses Clark Kent, so it's all confusion.
yeah,
So the tattoo switcheroo part is that
the gangster has a tattoo and Clark does not.
But
Clark finds a way to fake the tattoo so that people will think he is the guy.
And rub off the tattoo in the other guy.
It's just as stupid as it sounds, folks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they call the police, and the police come, and that's about it. All right.
Ugh.
What is awful? But what is interesting about this is that, and he's writing a diary. And as for my super costume, well, I'm confident everything will come out all right.
Oh my gosh! I didn't even realize that. It implies that Superman had to poop out his costume, which of course he did.
Yeah.
Gross, man.
Oh, that's why they made super washing machines.
Right.
So
I must have missed that from the Sears catalog.
Yeah.
With the Sears and Roebuck. Of course, did the Roebuck die, or how come Roebuck isn't part of Sears anymore?
Too long a name.
Oh,
that's
really?
all.
That's it?
It's probably Sears and Roebuck still, but they just call it Sears.
Oh, okay.
You wanted something simple and people can remember. Sears and Roebuck. That was big when they had a Sears and Roebuck catalog, which I can't imagine the catalog went away, but apparently it wasn't popular. But I got so many catalogs in the mail now, but it used to be for 100 years, a Sears catalog was something everybody got.
Even if you didn't buy something, that was a thing you had to look at and daydream about stuff.
Yeah.
It's before the internet, baby.
And a lot of people use it for toilet paper.
Okay.
So
I did not
didn't have anything else before they had toilet paper.
Okay. So the next issue we're going to talk about is it's Superman number 296, and the story is called "Who Took the Super Out of Superman?"
Kurt Swan.
Oh, very good. But written by Cary Bates and Elliot S. Magan. Well, say that's the real answer to that because they're like the two worst Superman writers to me. But penciled by Kurt Swan and inked by Bob Oxner and Bob Wyacek. And this is This is the first of a 3-issue arc. 3 or 4 issue arc that's very interesting with Superman. I think it's 4-parter.
Okay. Let's see. We start with the origin story. It's kind of cool. I think I've seen the origin story of Superman and Batman 30 or 40 times.
Sure.
I mean, and everyone does it. And I was thinking, does anybody not know?
Well, no, but because it's so, especially these two origins are like so engraved in our popular culture and our modern mythology.
And I guess artists want to do it themselves,
Well, yeah, who doesn't want to show John and Martha, or Thomas and Martha Wayne being killed, and Jonathan and Martha Kent finding, the rocketed to Earth super baby. It's classic stuff, yo.
So we get another origin story, and
of Mr. Xavier.
And he's got a cooler spaceship. So you see Superboy, and he apparently meets JFK. You don't see his face, but the hair. There's no one else with hair like that.
Oddly enough, because Superman met JFK.
I know.
Famously.
Yeah.
Here's a big continuity error. Maybe they'll just say that was on Earth too, but...
Alright, well, Xavier, I guess it's pronounced.
He came and hid on Earth, and when he came, he killed people and hid. And because his mission is to destroy the Earth, but it's like a long mission. It's supposed to take him decades.
It's been about 16 years or so. I don't know, maybe 8. And he's talking to the people and from his home world. He tells them, "Oh, we made a mistake. I'm not aging, and they age here." So, okay, another 70s trope. Superman is dealing with killer bees.
Oh man, the killer bees was a thing in the 70s.
Yeah.
How many killer bee movies can you
At least
think
two
of?
or three. The Deadly Bees and Swarm.
Yeah, and I swear there's another one too. But yeah.
And the last Superman we just did, they mentioned another 70s thing was the coming Ice Age.
Oh man.
So.
But yeah, one of those 70s killer bee movies had John Saxon in it. I can't remember which one. It's probably the Deadly Swarm or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's just.
But John Saxon is cool.
Yeah.
So
Richard Widmark's cool too.
Yeah, he is.
And he was. I'm not going to be the first general to be beaten by a bunch of bees.
Oh man.
Oh great. So Superman is leading these killer bees to the ocean, and then he sees a cruise ship and a little boat, and the little boat just robbed the cruise ship. And so Superman, they blow up the funnel on the cruise ship.
Oh man!
And they said, "We're going to blow up the whole ship," and then Superman said, "Hey," just crushes the thing. Oh,
right.
Burns. We have a cupcake alert from Shazam.
Yeah, Captain Marvel. It's another hostess
Pretty
ad.
cool.
Oh, you're just gonna.
No, I think we've seen this one before.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, I know I have, but
yeah, I have to. So it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Superman grabs up the bad guys and dumps them into the swimming pool. All right.
So.
All right. So what's going on? He eats his Superman costume again.
Why are you doing that, Superman? Because he's got to go meet up with Steve Lombard and Lois for some stupid thing.
Oh, they're doing judo again.
Oh, they did. That's right. They did it before, didn't they?
But why? Okay.
Can we just move along? Because this is
okay.
dead air.
Yeah, you're right. So Steve Lombard is grabbing a football, and then he almost get hit, and Clark
by a car. Almost gets by a car. Okay.
In traffic, like an idiot.
Yeah. And then Clark gets hit by a car, and he actually gets hurt and has to go to the hospital. What's going on?
Right.
Mr. Xavier is causing some kind of dissonance with Superman's powers.
Right.
So when he's Clark, he's actually vulnerable, and then when he's in the Superman costume, that's when his powers
work. It's kind of odd, and they don't really explain that. And they can stick needles in Clark's arms, and Steve Lombard can actually hurt his hand with his grip.
Right. So.
Oh, but I guess by his suit being inside himself, fixes everything. So and it wasn't affected. So when he puts a suit on, he crushes this lamppost, which is really cool. I'd love to do that.
So some guys are gonna rob a helicopter, or what is it? Or they're robbing someplace on these like flying things. Are they members of Intergang or Skull or something?
I don't know. I think there's a bunch of goofballs.
Okay, but anyway, Superman stops them and turns them into the police.
Yeah.
That's only 2 pages.
Mm-hmm.
And then Superman goes back to Clark's apartment, and he's in regular Clark clothes and can't lift the fridge, and then puts the super suit back on, and he can lift it up with his pinky.
All right. And then a robot attacks him. Which a crate, which he didn't notice before.
Right.
I mean, a man-sized crate. As messy as my house has gotten, I would notice a man-sized crate.
Right. This robot's pretty cool.
Oh, but Superman, not bad, but Superman's got to take off every bit of clothing.
Yeah.
Even his boots, if he's wearing a suit, or shoes, leave him vulnerable.
Yeah. And it's weird to see a shot of Superman trying to get his pants off as quick as he can so he can fight a robot.
Mm-hmm.
That's really bizarre.
It gives him the robot a nice super kick, and he says he really enjoys it. And then he's got to go to a tenants meeting.
Lame.
Yeah. So now Superman says, "Well, I can't live a double life. I cannot be
Superman and Clark."
Right, because if someone finds out he's Clark, he can be Superman is Clark. He can get killed as Clark.
Right. So he's got to make a decision. So The next issue, which we don't have, he decides to just live as Clark for a while. And he ends up sealing the deal with Lois, too. They start dating and... Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but we will have part 3 of that story.
You won't?
We will.
Oh, good.
But I had to tell you that part because we don't have part 2.
Oh, okay.
You're tracking with me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Jeff understands.
Oh, good. So the next comic we got to talk about, and the last for this episode, is it's Jigsaw #2 from Harvey Comics. I got to give some background on this, okay?
Okay.
It's 1966,
Mm-hmm.
and Batmania and Marvel Comics being hit is causing either new publishers trying to enter the field with superhero comics to capitalize on those crazes, and also people who had stopped publishing superhero comics or who hadn't at all, for a long time or never, to try doing them again to see if they can capitalize on it. And Harvey at this time is, of course, just doing basically Casper and Richie Rich and Little Dot. They hadn't had a superhero since the Golden Age. They had the Black Cat, and so they come out with Mr. Jigsaw, just Jigsaw, and
Mr. Jigsaw sounds better.
Yeah, but anyway, it's a terrible comic. I mean, it's kind of fun, but it's stupid. He's just another stretchy, move your body around in goofy ways hero.
Like the Elemento guy. Or
Metamorpho?
Metamorpho.
Only Metamorpho can do all kinds of stuff. This guy basically just does, stretches, his body. That's it.
Yeah.
It's odd. This is the second and last issue of the series because it just didn't pan out. And they actually advertised a third issue, and probably the art and everything was produced, but they never published it because taking the loss on, okay, we paid somebody to do that art and write it, it was not as bad as publishing a comic that no one's going to then buy. That's an even more of a loss. So that actually happens a lot in comics.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
It's made for younger crowd, I think. That's the impression I got.
And it's really from a company that doesn't know how to do non-juvenile comics, because at this, in the Golden Age, Harvey they did many other things, including some really quite good horror comics. But at this point, it's all kiddie stuff. It's Richie Rich and Casper.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll just pause for a second. Well, yeah, we got just the Mr. Jigsaw, so.
And Swam.
Yeah, okay, that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that. So anyway, Mr. Jigsaw.
It looks like he's wearing a leotard as Jigsaw. It doesn't look like his skin is.
Yeah, it's weird. They do recap his stupid origin in here, so that's good at least.
Yeah, and it's okay. And I don't know why he's Jigsaw. Why he couldn't have done a better job. He's up in outer space. He's an astronaut, and he gets sucked into the moon. And these Krellites help him, but it make him look like a Jigsaw. And his fiance doesn't like him anymore. So, all right, we got international.
Oh yeah, let me get. I missed something. It's the Interplanetary Olympics.
Yeah.
Because that's what superheroes spend their time wasting on. But anyway, Otto Binder actually wrote this.
Good God.
I know, right? And art by Tony Tallarico, who did a lot of stuff at Charlton.
I don't like some of the art. The aliens are cool, but Jigsaw's kind of meh.
Yeah, it's a terrible costume.
Yeah, but
I like his friend, the Krellite.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, he looks kind of cartoony, but doesn't everything.
Yeah. All right, so he meets Zarkal from Plutonia, and he's throwing these discus, but there's 3 of them, They look like balls instead of, I don't know. And he's throwing them to the crowd, about to kill some people, and Jigs saves them, saves the crowd, and that makes Zarkal angry.
Right.
And Zarkal is a red head, but on two
limbs, and they can both serve as feet and arms. And he's weird.
I like that. I mean,
it's weird. This guy is the arch nemesis in the 2 issues of this character.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, and a bunch of other goofballs. So, okay, Zarkal is mortally offended by this stupid, by him saving the audience. So
by Jigsaw saving people.
Jigsaw, so he challenges Jigsaw to a duel of the Walk of Death, and so Jigsaw, but I want it on Earth. So I'm not sure why he wanted it on Earth, but he did.
I don't know. Maybe because we know what Earth is like, and so you don't have to. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. They got these knight lances, like the jousting lances, and they fight, and they it's a tie, and that really ticks off Zarkal, who touches Jigs, and
are you gonna keep calling him Jigs?
Yeah, why not?
Because it's terrible.
Yeah.
Jigsaw. So
alright, here's part 2. Jigsaw, man of 1,000 parts. Okay. I love him getting the first prize. They have the Olympics giving out the medals, although they don't have medals. They just have first, second. The expression on
Zarkal's face.
I keep forgetting his name.
Face. I know, it's weird.
It's really great. And third prize, a guy which is higher than second prize. Weird. And his
the pedestal is higher.
The pedestal his expression is so smug. It's really cool. Alright. So he goes to
Jigsaw
goes to Earth and goes visit a buddy, and his buddy notices something on his neck, which is his head is not Jigsaw, the rest of his body is.
Yeah.
So Jigsaw goes crazy and starts attacking normal people.
So during the competition, he was drugged by Zarkal, and now what? He's going on a rampage, and it's defaming him. Ooh.
Yeah, as if he cares.
I mean, that is a comic book cliche, though.
Yeah, so he's fixed by the Kraylites. And then he is taught how to fly a spaceship so he could dogfight against these other guys. And, you teach someone an airplane, then the next day going out in the Olympics.
Right? It's a bit of a stretch.
I think that may have actually... I think that was probably done in the first couple Olympics because they didn't have enough people and money.
Sure.
Excuse me, but this is intergalactic.
Yeah.
And I never understood why they had him. Oh, excuse me. Why they had him to be on it. That didn't make any sense.
Big plot holes. And it's lame. Did he win or something? Do we care?
Yeah, I guess he did. Yeah, he won the space battle. And he was a fighter pilot one time.
Okay.
Alright, something interesting. Letters to you. They're letters from the characters.
Yeah.
I
did kind of skim through that. I thought it was dumb, but kind of interesting. As if they're, hey, this is gonna be a series, but it's the last issue.
Well, they don't know that, I guess.
Well, they must have known not too far after if they planned a third issue and then it never came out.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a backup feature called The Man from SRAM, which is an acronym.
Planetary placement.
Yeah, but he's from Mars, and they tell you, oh, it's SRAM is Mars backwards. They say it about 100 times in a 4-page story.
Yeah.
Or 5 pages.
But is that, that's epic. That's CIPE spelled backwards. It's called Madhouse in Hollywood. It's, I don't think it's an acronym. Because there's no...
Right, there's no... But it's kind of meant to be, oh, Man from Uncle, that kind of thing.
Right.
But, yes, Madhouse in Hollywood. And written also by Otto Binder. And art by Carl Pfeiffer, who was a bigger deal artist in the golden age of comics. So...
Yeah.
And I wrote it down somewhere and I forgot, some of his golden age stuff. Oh, he worked on for an example, a Submariner in the Golden Age.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh. Okay. All right. So the man from SRAM lands on Earth. He's from Mars. He looks like a Martian, and he lands next to this couple of kids, and they fall in love, and they ignore him. And I'm wondering, this is going out to the preteen audience, and their bigger brother and sister are into boys or girls, and they're ignoring the younger brother. And this is, if they ignore a spaceman from Mars, they're going to ignore a little kid.
Sure.
Okay, so alright, so the man from SRAM changes into a human. He's got a lantern jaw and a half. So, so he gets on, he figures out they're going to be in the movies. So
he is looking for somebody, right?
Yeah, he's looking for a Fink. Fiendish, interplanetary, nasty colors.
Anyway, so he goes to Hollywood because he knows that a member of Fink is incognito as a space alien in a science fiction movie coming up.
So, okay. Alright, so he's trying to get into the movie, and the guy says, he acts a little bit, and the guy said, "It knits." And he says, "Oh, it stinks backwards."
Yeah, they're doing things backwards seems to be like the big running lame gag in this story.
Yeah, I do love the way it's drawn, though. It's really cool.
No, Pfeiffer's good stuff.
And it's kind of cute and funny, and so
it's not bad. It's definitely better than Jigsaw.
Yeah, and
which was crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. So here comes the major star of the show.
And it's this beautiful Hollywood starlet.
Did you catch this?
What? Catch what?
The clue that she was an alien?
Tell me, because I don't remember.
She has one...
she has 6 fingers on each hand. No, I didn't see it.
Because, you don't really... It's not... Because it could be someone at publishing or...
No, I didn't even notice it.
Neither did I.
So, I mean, I don't spend a lot of time counting fingers. Believe it or not.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, she has 6 fingers, and that's the tell that she's not really this beautiful girl. She's an alien. Yeah, with this tentacled, thing from a cover of a pulp,
Yeah. So, he slugs her, and we don't know why, and I was kind of surprised. How does he know?
Right.
And she turns into this octopus lass.
Yeah.
And then she grabs his head off, and he turns into a lemon and squirts her in the eye. Oh, God.
Yeah.
He's taking his fist and he's whirling it and ready to smack somebody.
Yeah.
And she grabs a big heavy light and is going to hit him on the head with it, and it turns into a big feather.
Okay.
And one of the cameras is an atomic fire starter, shoots out nuclear sparks. Yeah, so he puts out the fire with his foot. And he tells, she had 6 fingers. Yeah.
This was kind of fun, but stupid.
Yeah, it was stupid. I don't know. It was kind of cool.
So
I don't know.
Man, this might be one of the worst episodes we've recorded in a while.
Really?
Yeah, really. But that's okay. Anything to...
You infernal glued together Earth freak!
Okay, we gotta go.